to our meeting. This thing does have like volume buttons on it, so it's for the like so that we can do our live stream or a Zoom call and record it. So it should pick you up. Like you don't have to like lean into it or anything. But like if someone were online and like wanted to talk, it would also be a speaker through there. So this is our first time actually using it. So let's see, this is also our first working group meeting. So bear with us. Okay, so I think you guys kind of just introduce yourselves to each other. We mostly know each other, but we do go around the room once for anyone who may be watching later or now.
Me.
Yeah, so here.
My name's Eileen Hernandez. Happy to be here. I am a nurse practitioner. I've been a nurse for about 7 to 8 years, been in the healthcare field for over 20. I see the need, I see the opportunities here, and I just wanted to jump in. So I thought what a great opportunity as a nurse to educate not just patients, but populations overall. So I'm stoked, and hopefully we can make something cool.
Well, my name is Michelle Dania. I'm a registered dietitian for about 5 years now, living in Hillsborough County for about 2 to 3 years now, and originally from New York. And so I've seen, with my work in community nutrition specifically, with nonprofits and with schools and with local farms, I've seen the need as well. And I'm really excited to make some change as well, because I've seen a lot of great programs already in Hillsborough County, but it looks like a lot of our community members don't know about it. So I think that is a big part of it as well. And then just expanding on what's already out there.
Hi, good morning. My name is Regina Polite. I am the president of Healthy 22nd Street Community Garden. I am also a member of the Coalition of Community Gardens. I am a retired federal government worker from the Department of Justice, 28 years. So I became involved in gardening after COVID, and it's been a dream come true. There's a lot of needs in my community, there's a community. So I'm here to get whatever information I can get to help my community.
I'm RJ from Feeding Tampa Bay, and I'm on the health and nutrition team, and I help the food bank and then our pantry partners kind of focus on being more health and nutrition focused.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have you identified a secretary and treasurer?
We have. I think this is the time to do that.
I will give you 3 minutes because I believe you can do it. So go ahead and do some checking.
Okay.
My first time.
Do something.
Do we know what that all entails?
Yeah, what do the duties include?
So secretary, you're probably going to be the one posting on the platform. Ideally taking notes, but I don't know if we kind of decided like maybe we could get a little like AI thing to do it because it's such a small group. And we'll have a recording, so I don't want them doing that outside to like rewatch it. And then the treasurer will manage your money. So each working group has a certain amount of funding for like your mini grants. So they'll be in charge of making sure that you guys aren't just giving away more money than you have, or maybe you have extra in the budget and then they're like, hey, so we should ask more people to apply for this money. So
I have a question. So will the chairs, co-chairs be able to be in these positions, or we should wait until others?
I don't think so. So I think both of you guys are going
You could, but if they were spreading out work, I would yeah.
Okay.
So does that leave me and her?
Pretty much.
For Avery to make these decisions.
Does anyone know where she is?
Oh, it's a girl.
You know, I did meet a guy named Avery.
Yeah.
It's
I
We've
thought that
got
was
another
real.
minute and a half to decide.
Okay.
Or you can decide between yourselves.
I have a little one at home, so maybe for me it would be easier to do like stuff on the phone versus like handling money. I don't want to get that mixed
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's
So,
okay.
what are your
I
thoughts on
can
it?
do the treasure one.
You can do it. Thank you.
You want to do the treasurer or the?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a voting thing.
Can you explain the duties again?
So the treasurer is just keeping track. Like, you don't have to like write checks or anything, but just like keeping a spreadsheet, basically.
Oh, a
Shows-
spreadsheet?
Yeah, like how much money you have left. Because we'll talk about it more later, but you have like a set amount of money that you can give away. So,
I don't,
Keeping track of the budget.
yeah.
Which one do you think is easier? Or just for,
It
for
depends
the,
on
you
your
know,
style.
for my
If that's
living,
easier.
situation?
It shouldn't require very much work outside of this, like 15 minutes to post on the platform as a secretary. Like,
Oh.
you're really slow at posting.
Okay.
And just having to like write the.
could you schedule those too?
Mhm.
So you could always like write it like a week before and then schedule it the following.
Or you should post them all at once.
Or there.
But you would have to edit it if something changes.
Okay. Not that bad, right? I don't know.
I guess we're gonna find out.
What are your thoughts? Are you good on that? Are
Yeah,
you-
that's,
Okay, I guess that's
All right, like our time is up.
we're moving fast.
and then we're very confidential taking.
Oh, we're just gonna. I'm good with
I sent her a text, hopefully.
with the secretary if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great, good job, guys. All right. So now we will ask the co-chairs to report back on the leadership retreat. Can you give us a summary of what you said?
I'll go first. Since I talked with Michelle, but this is what I came up with. This is my take, okay? Okay, we were welcomed by the Homegrown Hillsborough staff and took headshots. We were introduced as members. The staff explained Homegrown Hillsborough as explain what Homegrown Hillsborough is, as well as its mission, vision, and value of the organization. The Homegrown Hillsborough is a network of community members united in a shared mission to grow a strong food system. Its vision is an integrated food system that is diverse, reliable, and creates opportunity for active participation. The value of Homegrown are stewardship, community well-being, choice, education, and accessibility. Pre-test was administered as to our basic knowledge of the food system. The food system was defined as a food system that includes all processes and infrastructures involved in feeding the population. The food system components were introduced as secular physical, which makes up 6 components that are production, processing, distribution, marketing, consumption, and resource management. We then reviewed 6 assets, immaterial components of the food system that are economics, wellness, policy, education, environment, and equality. Is that equality or, yeah. A discussion was had as to how to organize, shape, wait a minute. A discussion was had as to how organize and shape our community food system. What is a community food system? A community food system is a collaboration effort to integrate the steps of food production, processing, distribution, consumption, and resource management to improve the health and well-being of a community. A question was asked, how do we get it done? The values of a social capitalist and a local food system were defined as the benefit of that society derived from the interaction between different networks and groups. Social capitalism involved trust, reciprocity, and common agenda. A quick review of the grant writing was given. We were asked if the course was offered, would we be interested in taking the course? The majority of the class agreed to participate if offered. The acronym SMART was introduced to the class on accomplishing goals. Okay, as a community garden leader, there was a lot of information, and the information was all new to me, some of it. I learned that as a community leader, I could help Homegrown could help Homegrown Hillsborough, could help me, and not that I have to reinvent the wheels. The retreat was very refreshing.
Mhm.
That's my take.
Awesome.
That's a wonderful summary, yeah. All right, so that was day one.
Right, they went.
I just want to make sure I have the right names. So we did have a few presenters, day one and day two. So for day two, so we had two lovely presenters on day two who spoke to us about grant writing, which was really interesting. I'm trying to find their names here. Okay, it doesn't look like it's here, but we had two presenters talk about grant writing. They went into the details about grant writing with regards to the process because it does take it can take a few months to a preparation, doing research, and so they went into details about that, and so after that, trying to remember. And I'm sorry, mine isn't as organized as yours, Regina, but they did talk about what are our goals. They did talk about what are our goals for the next 5 years with Homegrown and what grants we're most interested in doing, developing or applying for. And for me specifically, it was more about seeing things like, since we're focusing on food access, it was more about food prescription programs or community, I believe it's called community mobile. Trying to remember the name. Savannah, can you remind me the name of that one that you mentioned last week? Healthy neighborhood stores. So those were the two things that came up in when we were talking about grant writing. And then a few other members from the other food groups or the other work groups had mentioned their goals. So somebody had mentioned about how they were more focusing on maternal health. Someone else was focusing on food hubs. Other members were focusing on like further extending their current programs. And so I found that one really helpful just to get a basic understanding of how to all the details that go into grant writing. And then in the afternoon, we had another presenter talk about when it comes to building a team and we did an exercise about building a foundation. So focusing on things that kind of help with team building and focusing on communication, having proper standards or procedures, just so that everyone's on the same page and thinking about what our common goals are, because not all of us this isn't all like a paid position. So kind of tying that into what brings everyone together for that common goal. So I thought today would be a great day to talk about what are the specific goals for our work group. We did have an exercise on day one that talked about that we completed, RJ and Regina and I. If you guys want to take a look at it, also it talks about the community assets and the sectors. And that's something we can also work on today if any of you would like to focus on that, just so that we can kind of dig deeper on what our goals would be for the year.
Our next agenda item was to go over the mission, vision, values. I know that Regina just said that. Comes up, and then our next item is also to make the definition for your working group. So 2 to 4 sentences to define your working group, and that'll be an exercise for you guys to do right now. So make sure it's really focused, not like those sentences need to say it, right? Without being 20 run-on sentences, I couldn't divide it into 10 sentences. And use like our mission, vision, values kind of as a guide. but then think more about how you want to define your working group. So I will give you 10 minutes and see how that goes.
And this is something we do together as a group.
Yep, group effort. You can look at your sheet that you brought, the assessment. And yeah. I'll check in.
Question, Savannah, when you're saying assessment, are you referring to the?
Assessment was the thing you would, the big paper. That was
This one.
Oh, okay.
the asset mapping.
The asset mapping, okay.
Think about how you want to define your working group. So food access working group is.
Mhm. Well, I know on day one, when it was RJ and Regina and I, we were talking about where we fit into the equation, and it looked like we fell into multiple community assets. So things like wellness, education, equity, environment. And so we put into each one, for example, Feeding Tampa Bay and the Healthy 22 Community Garden fell in. And we can also include that for Avery, anything that you're doing, or Ellen's, anything that you're doing as well.
Yeah, we added mine in there already, the neighborhood store and minority health, the ones that we talked about during the retreat.
Okay. And those fell into resource management and was it communication?
Education and equity well, that's just like broad, like where I'm working, but yeah, education and equity. It could also fall under the environment, the neighborhood store.
So let me ask a question. When she works for sentences, am I correct, Savannah?
2 to 4.
So when it's short, okay, now let's define ourselves. Okay, we are a group, right? That's
Yeah.
one.
Mhm.
We are a group of individuals with different backgrounds, right? That's two. Then what is our commonality? We're here to do what? Collaborate,
Mhm. To
Right.
increase food access.
to increase food assets and
And improve our food system. of
the
county.
health, the overall health of
Of
our
the county.
community.
Mhm.
That's it. We got it, right?
I think it needs to be a little bit more smart, like a little bit more specific, because we need to know what the steps are to get there. And that's very
Do you need to
general.
know that right now?
For the
Maybe
two
we
to
should
four, use the SMART tool.
Yeah, okay, we got the SMART acronym, which is.
This is more like a mission statement for our work. Or like
There is no
the,
SMART.
it's not a goal.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. The
so that's
mission
just
of
a
the
statement,
goals.
right?
Okay, so then that
Yeah,
works.
that
That
works.
does sound good. Okay.
I forgot what it said. Okay.
That's the end of
I'll write it down.
With different backgrounds.
To collaborate.
That we will come together to collaborate.
Community initiatives to improve food systems.
I'm just
Okay.
writing in like the main things that you said and kind of making
Okay.
a sentence out of it, but it doesn't have to.
About health, okay,
To improve food systems.
food system, and then the overall health of our community.
Through access, and I think access should be.
Yeah, access, yeah, because we're food, yeah, exactly, that's the general statement.
So what does access mean?
How do we,
Define.
Maybe we should put that in.
Mhm.
how do we get goods and services to a community? Is that what you call, RJ?
Yeah. No, I think,
Increasing availability.
Yeah,
And quality.
So I think these words should be included somehow.
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah. Cause it's basically like if I were to talk to you, I meet you and you go, oh, I'm actually involved in the food access working group with Hillsborough. And I go, what is the food access working group?
Mhm.
Then you can say we're a group of individuals who blah, 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 that want to increase the
Collaborate,
quality,
increase the
accessibility, availability, those things. And then now I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So the food access working group is not a place for me to go sell my new, restaurant concept. It's the place that is based in nutrition and wellness and those kind of things. But you guys are great. Yeah, but all those words, like, I think it might be beneficial just to kind of like mark them up, write them down, and then see which ones of them you want to kind of enshrine.
Here's one of the definitions of food access right here: the availability, affordability, and ability. I like that there's 3 A's in there because we'll never forget it. Availability, affordability, and ability. Of individuals or communities to obtain nutrition and culturally appropriate food to meet their dietary needs. That's the definition according to this.
Yeah, because we need to also like make sure it's clear, like nutritious foods. Like we're not just like, yeah, it's great to increase availability of foods, but we want it to be fresh, healthy foods so that we're also improving nutrition, not just giving them access to food or helping give them access to.
I think something that's important for us too is that when we're trying to provide food and create like spaces for people to shop, we want to accommodate the foods that are within their budget. So that's being able to be afforded, that fit their cultural and religious background, and also their dietary preferences. Because we can, pump a market full of lettuce and bell peppers, but if culturally you're not used to that or comfortable with those foods, how easily is it going to be for you to use those foods? And I mean, even for us who might be educated in food systems and nutrition, if you see a parsnip in the market and that's like the only thing there, how likely are you going to grab it? Now think about somebody who doesn't have that background. They're probably only going to reach for the fruits and the vegetables that are most comfortable for them, even if it is fresh. Sometimes people are more comfortable that we see with like canned items. So I think food access definitely needs to incorporate bringing the availability of food that accommodates those things, probably even some form of education too. Because if we don't incorporate that, then they're just going to stick with what they know. And then, we can make a million things accessible, but if they're only going to stick with bell peppers or peas or mashed potatoes, then it won't be that useful.
Definitely agree.
Sorry, peas and mashed potatoes are on my mind because that's the only thing we're feeding our baby right now. By the way, baby food peas smell terrible. As long as I'm feeding him, he's not having it. Unfortunately. So I think like in the sentence, what I think said, affordability, accessibility, and ability should definitely be in those sentences. Those are really important.
Yeah, because even if we forget what food access is, we can just be like AAA.
Yeah.
And just refer back to that. Trying to see if there's something in here, the SMART acronym. I thought I saw it. Anywho, what do you have written down? Do you want to share?
Well, I was getting a little bit of everyone, so my sentence isn't really fully complete. But what we were saying,
You can also use it.
okay. Yeah, we can do that.
You don't have to.
No, but I think it makes sense just so that we all have it visual. Yeah.
Can we get another 10 minutes?
How much time do we have?
Oh, we got a minute left, so I'll do another.
Oh, wow.
Maybe even better do 7.
All right.
I've been trying to work on my negotiation. I'm really bad at it. I usually give in to whatever the person puts. You're very brave for writing so high.
You said two
You're gonna be a
different. You said different.
Different background.
Different background. Should I say the diverse backgrounds or
For sure.
diverse backgrounds? Different, yeah, diverse.
What if we change this to something like a variety of different things? Would that be a little bit more, that would be shorter? Because I think the point pushing here is like we're different organizations that are working together.
A variety. Okay, so we have the- Is it local? Is it? Does it matter right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think local connotates a very important
We're
point
not an
from.
organization.
I guess I'm in my own organization, but I'm just here.
You in the health field, okay?
Okay.
That's not-
Both organizations that collaborate to
Let's say address.
address or improve.
Improve, okay.
I wrote down what you said.
Yeah.
To improve community. Yeah.
Say the overall. Should I put Hillsborough? We want to keep it Hillsborough?
It is Hillsborough.
Oh, Hillsborough, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so you guys do, like, you kind of have the bumpers of the fact that this stuff, like, you live within these attributes already. So because the food access group is a subsection of Homegrown Hillsborough, these types of things already kind of apply to the work you're doing, because the whole work of Homegrown Hillsborough is to grow a strong food system. So you might not want to repeat to grow a strong food system
Exactly.
because it's already included.
Say in your mission.
Exactly, and so same thing with like diverse, reliable, create opportunity for active participation. You might want to revisit some of the, like, basically this is valuable real estate, like the sentence that you have. It's similar to when at the retreat I said, you know, imagine if somebody runs up to you on the street and says, "What is a food system?" and you have to quickly respond. It's the same thing with this. What is a food access group? And you go, we're a group of individuals from a variety of local organizations that collaborate to improve Hillsborough County food system. Like, that might be a little wordy. And you do have sentences. It's a little different. So we do want a few sentences, but you also want to be able to quickly communicate. Like, we are a group dedicated to improve nutrition through availability, access, like those kinds of things. So anyways, all of that is to say that, like, these words are kind of already embedded, because this is a subsection of that. But I think that you're off to a really, like, this is good just to get it all out, and then you can start kind of wordsmithing it from there. Yeah. But it is a few sentences. It's a little different than kind of that same, like, rush, like, very quick, you know, what is it? Blah! You do a few more sentences. But imagine you're talking to me at a picnic, and if you have so many words to describe what you're doing, I'm just gonna go, that sounds really good. I don't know what any of that.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I did when we started our 501c3. I told the board that, hey, if I'm out front there and you put me out there and I'm like, well, what is healthy Twitter? You know, reading from a cue card. I can't have a cue card every time, you know, I'm going somewhere. So I need something small, several words, and something that it can stick and I can remember.
Exactly. And so the sentences that we kind of want you guys to derive is, like, if you're ping-ponging in a conversation, what is a food access group? We are this. Oh, tell me more. That means this. Oh, tell me more. That means this. Those can kind of be. Yeah.
Oh, we should probably condense them. I like what was said about how she was saying it's a group of dedicated or individuals dedicated. Maybe we can condense that by just saying a group of individuals. They need to know that we're from organizations so they can learn that eventually. A group of collaborates.
That just goes straight to a group that collaborates.
More local that collaborates to
You could erase stuff too.
Oh. Collaborates to improve.
Is that simple?
No, because that's similar to their mission. Improve the,
Specifically food.
Yeah, the food, improve food access for.
the access,
Then can we just go right into the AAAs? I mean, even though it says food access and then the last one is, the last AAA is ability. Is that too many A's in one sentence? The AAA.
availability and ability. What does ability mean?
Availability.
What does ability mean?
Ability, I think, is just, in my opinion, I don't know, the ability to be able to walk like a mile and be able to access different varieties of foods.
Okay.
But it doesn't specify what ability is here. Availability, and affordability. That's the last one. It's three A's. It's not access is so access is is the word, and then to define it is availability, ability, and affordability. So maybe we can put that in the second sentence, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to confuse anybody. So through ability.
They collaborate to
Sounds
improve
good.
access through, would it be through availability, then the three A's then? Oh, you're asking a question, read that, yeah.
It sounds like there's a lot of ambiguity.
I feel like it needs to be within the place. Should it not include the place?
And so once again, it is kind of living in the context of this, so you might not need to repeat.
I think I'm thinking of it as someone who doesn't know anything about Homegrown Hillsborough.
And that's a good
why
point. That's a good point.
That's why it comes up to me, but I will do that as
You could say community.
within the community.
So that, and then the community is defined as Hillsborough County.
Within the.
Oh, makes sense.
So this is like our mission, pretty much. Do you think that we should tailor the SMART goals into this mission?
They should technically, like, you mean like add them into like the text? Or
Like try and get specificity in here and measure, like a measurable goal, like all the, aspects of the SMART acronym in this. Do you think that would?
I don't know if you want to try to fit it all, and also we'll have your separate goals. So the goals will be separate from this. So they should like apply to this, but the goals are gonna be a lot more specific. Whereas this is more like a general statement of who we are. Right. So I think the words
Is there
are.
anyone? Is there anyone? I feel like that.
We erase the to improve
Oh.
improve food access.
Maybe another word for ability.
It
Kind of doesn't quite make sense. in there.
What about, can we put, this is our work, this is our mission. Can we put mission in here? Can we put the word mission, or is it just mission and then?
I don't know if it's like officially the mission. Like missions are kind of tricky sometimes. Like technically, like missions.
This is more like an elevator pitch.
Yeah, it's more like an elevator pitch. Like a one floor elevator pitch.
Can we add the word improving from food that collaborates to improve food access through increasing availability, ability, and affordability? Or I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, so ability is kind of at the end of availability and affordability. So I wonder, because you're trying to say, like the point you want to get with ability is, like you mentioned, like walking,
Right,
like
right.
with, like you're talking like a distance kind of. And so availability can be like, yeah, okay, it's available in Tampa, but I can't get to it. Affordability is, yeah, it's on the shelf, but I can't buy it. So I guess like to kind of further that visual of like strictly.
Could we change ability to
Yeah.
accessibility?
I wonder, do we have to,
'Cause I
I
feel
mean,
like that
that's,
could be the same thing.
we don't have to like specifically
No.
use these words.
No.
Maybe ability is
smart
just the
though.
wrong word then.
What about accessibility?
Well, so you're the food access group, so
Yeah.
are you defining
Redundant.
yourself with a definite, like, if you're the food access group, and we
Yeah.
are working to improve accessibility, that hasn't really helped me learn more what food
Yeah.
access means.
Right.
So I will say, just like a little cheat code, because we're at time, and also I have a decade of experience in art probably is too. So generally, food access is like the combination of 4 things. Let me see if I can rattle them off. One of them, though, that I don't see here is reliability, which is why like a farmer's market isn't necessarily a food access solution, like long term, because it's not reliable, right? They're only one day a week at a certain
Yeah.
time with cash in the right weather conditions. So as far as like oh, we want food access to be this reliable thing. Farmers markets aren't necessarily always that. They're part of the mosaic of solutions, but so I know reliability is something that that's talked a lot about. Affordability, accessibility, reliability, and then I think culturally appropriate are like the 4 things.
You did mention.
And you did, yeah.
He did.
And you don't have to use those 4. I'm just saying that like those are just 4 that might be a good starting point to see if those are things that you want to. And that's also a lot of words, right?
Yeah.
So
We got 1A, 2A, we got 2 A's out of it. Okay, let's see the group that collaborates to improve food access to increasing accessibility. Then
I think we were gonna get rid of accessibility because you're food access. So yeah, reliability.
Ability, right?
or just reliability.
Just, yeah.
affordability.
Yeah,
Yeah, we should have done it.
Okay, increase.
Increasing.
Can we change within the community to within our community?
And then,
That's pretty solid. To take it in. So you can-
I'll rewrite it.
Yeah, you just read it to me so I can type it.
Sure. A group that collaborates to improve food access through increasing reliability, affordability, and culturally inclusive within our community.
Culturally inclusive way.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, group that collaborates to improve food access through increasing reliability, affordability, and culturally inclusive
Neighborhoods.
or
Community
nutrient.
Culturally,
diets. What else would be like products or items, or 'cause that's what we're trying to communicate, right? It's like we want to put fresh produce where fresh produce isn't, but we don't want it to be fresh produce that doesn't align with the culture or the neighborhood. So culturally inclusive.
what do you think about culturally appropriate? Did that narrow us down too much?
Group that collaborates to improve food access through increasing reliability, affordability, and culturally appropriate foods within our community. Is that what you're kind of?
Yeah.
I think
Did that sound?
And so that's the first sentence.
Like you could have the second sentence say like culturally appropriate foods.
Yeah.
Like that could be a second sentence, but I think for now this is good.
Do we meet the time? No. Do we-
exercise, so you guys want, this is, we didn't know how this was gonna take. So it's kind of like, see, but I also didn't want to be like, sure.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna go put this on the billboard tonight.
Right.
It's just an exercise to kind of tomorrow, yeah. It's gonna just start, like, we do want you guys to start thinking about this because this is gonna help influence what your goals are, which are gonna help influence what we're asking the community to ultimately come and respond to our grants and how we're gonna work together. So now, like with this as kind of our North Star, when we have opportunities to either apply for grants or participate in partnerships, or somebody wants to apply for one of our grants, we can say, okay, well, does this do anything to improve reliability, affordability, culturally appropriate? And that will be reflected in your goals that we're about to talk about too. So it's basically just, there are endless possibilities in the world, and we have to decide which ones we're going to focus on. Yeah.
Within the year.
Yeah.
That's our time frame.
Yes. All right. Good job, guys.
That was great. You guys did great.
Yes. Please open your computers and go to platform.homegrownhillsborough.com. We're going to do a walkthrough of our partner platform because this is how we want you to communicate with each other. Certain things maybe like you want to like do a text group or email chain. I don't know. How have you guys been communicating with each other? Text.
Anyway,
Okay, like a group text or just like in between one?
we have a group text and then an email yeah.
Just want to check in. Okay, so once you go to this, so this is where we're going to like want you to be having conversations and talking to each other. And then other people will be able to see it too. So it's not like a private group, it would be for all of you. But first, yeah, go to platform.homegrownhillsborough.com, log in to everyone.
Could I have the Wi-Fi?
I was gonna ask about the
I just logged in.
It should be the FTP test, and it's all lowercase and hunger. One word. Comma Savannah rules. Yeah, just lowercase and hunger. And it should be the FTP guest.
And this is located on the Google Drive.
No, this is a platform.
Oh, I thought the link.
This is
the
our
link-
partner platform.
The link is not located in the drive?
No.
Okay.
It's probably somewhere in a
You
document.
tell me about it, but yeah, platform.homegrownhillsborough.com. That's the website you want to go to. And should be added most of it.
Love that websites are doing this.
Yeah, we were talking about that too. Like, yeah,
I can't remember all these passwords.
yeah, and that's exactly why.
Oh, magic. Oh, interesting.
Not the actual.
Okay, I'm at food mixers, okay.
Yeah, go. Thank you. I'm not the,
This is a totally different.
Oh, it's website.
Yeah, because I just sound, I mean, I could mark it and I don't choose.
And so we're gonna talk about, so this is the Google Drive, but this is called the partner platform. So how you get to it is you type in platform.
You just tell everyone you have to bookmark it because you can never find the website, and we made a short link to say platform.homegrownhillsborough.com.
Yeah, so let's see if that will show up.
And so we want to make sure that
So
your profiles
so
are
what we're
full,
gonna
you
do
know how to use it, because this is a tool that we want you to
I
use.
don't know if you actually have a profile, so we might have to.
Especially as a secretary.
So
If you do.
see how, like on the left, on the right, this orange and blue, this is where like, this is where a lot of Hillsborough communications happens in between, meetings and.
Oh, because I was trying. Oh, did you?
On the laptops and also I said, but make sure you're full out. So yes. if
We're gonna
you wanna
save it
say
on
the
the
bottom
bookmark.
side.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Is it working for anybody else? For everybody else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody's on.
I had to retype it, so.
Yeah.
just make sure it's the exact.
We'll do it.
You have to spell it for credit, the two.
Yeah, it's spelled something wrong.
I wonder if it's, oh, well, I just saw it.
We also have an online training video. If you forget how to do anything, this little assessment that we're gonna kind of walk through has a link. It's on our YouTube. You can go on there and it has bookmarks that shows you like for this part, like
So
what do I do? You look at the bottom of there because it's like an hour long video. So you can be like, I forgot how to do this thing. You can just go click through that.
Did you make the videos?
Monica did. So it's a screen recording. Do that. Okay.
We just asked to verify. Okay, I'm in. Let's look at this.
Okay, my heels are- No. I did it for someone yesterday.
I saw that, yeah. Did Michelle just requested it?
I just have access now.
Alright, so we'll see.
Oh, okay.
So
You have to sign it, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
apply to join. Oh, so I don't have to apply to join. This is like already, this is for outside members. Where it says food access, apply to join. Or do I need to do that?
No, you do need to reply.
I do need to do that?
Have
Okay.
you filled this out?
No. I
Okay, then
haven't.
yeah, you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, when I get to here, say thanks for signing up, so where do I go?
He wants you to go to your email and confirm that you do. This is you, so it's a good email. And then probably like a link that you have to click on. Hold on. Should be in your inbox. But you have to fill out folder. There it is, I can verify. So then get click verify email. And then we should be able to.
We the first working group, right?
Yes.
So we getting out the clean floor.
You're our baby. That's our
Aw.
In the interim, I don't know if you can have. Go and look to do that. Let's see.
And then Avery, I think that you have your name backwards. Yeah, you have Rodriguez, comma Avery.
You're saying,
Oh, I thought that's just how it showed it on there. I didn't realize it was actually,
I don't think so. I think you can go in and change that. So
okay, I'll go to edit.
Okay, I'm open.
So in the Google Drive, we do have your headshots that we took of you. If you don't have a picture on your profile. So, we don't have a ton of you. If you have a picture, do like a picture on your profile to make sure it's complete. So we know who you are. We'll say, oh, I saw her little face on the thing. She posts all the time. Any,
I had a question.
yes.
In the application for Homegrown Hillsborough, it's saying what sector of the food system are you involved in? I'm not sure if it, where I would,
Consumption.
consumption? Okay.
And then verify your email. And we actually will put cute little things on your profile. See, there's Avery right there. She has her little working group leader. Where did that go? Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we hover over, you can see the voting member for our AG working group. Probably should share my screen to the Zoom. I'm here.
I'm trying to fix my name, but it's grayed out. So when I click save, it doesn't let me. I guess I don't have access to update it. Like it lets me edit everything else, like what sector I'm involved in and all that. But then when I go to type over my name, it lets me type it, but then it doesn't let me save it. Like it's all in gray. Because I don't remember putting it in.
It might have been
Backwards.
from,
Like something.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe when I made the account, like
I think on day two,
something weird.
Savannah sent us a invite for the drive.
Yeah, so if you want me to send it to a different email, I can do that. Because you have to like, so if you go to like drive.google.com, it should pop up there. But I don't know if your in Tampa Bay one is Gmail or not.
It is Gmail.
Okay, cool. That makes it so much easier. So it should be in there, like under shared with me, there should be, or if you just type like the search, oh yeah, HH working group leadership. And so I would star that so that you, or however you keep track of your things or put shortcut wherever.
I track things now.
Okay.
So yeah, I will start.
Yeah, so I would star.
But, and so how I did it, and I just might have more privileges than you, but I went to the member and then I did this right here.
Oh yeah. That's where I
Oh,
was-
yeah, and I did, okay, I could just do it, but it wouldn't.
But, I did this and I
Okay,
don't
so
know what
let's
happened to my.
Yeah, 'cause you
Get yourself like a.
try again.
Back over.
So there you go. You have your.
Oh, I didn't have a question for that, so, I was able to get the, letter.
Yeah, that's what it did for me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Wait, I think it maybe did change.
Email it to me.
Email it, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Cool, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. It might have been that you changed it, it was glitchy and.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I went to save and then check it and it still showed the last name, so I
Yeah.
thought.
Okay, let's see where we can.
So if you need to add a picture, you go to your profile, to view my profile. And then there's a little, you hover over your little circle. And that's where you can upload your profile photo. We have photos of most of you. So if you don't have one on you right now, yes, you do. And that's just to make our thing look complete and look nice. And it's not just like a gray face is posting to our group. We want to know who you are and continue to build that social capital. Okay. So is everyone on the platform? Can I get a thumbs up? Yes. Yes. Okay. So, good job. Check number 1. You're on the platform. Do you have it bookmarked for easy access? Does everyone know how to do? You have a bookmark or you know platform.hillsborough.com? All right. Do you know how to upload a profile picture? If you're saying yes, you better have a picture. So put on your picture now.
My picture's too large. It
It's too
doesn't-
big. No, let me shrunk them small.
I have a picture on there, but my baby's on there. Is that okay, or should it just be like?
You, I mean, we'd rather just want to know, like, your
Okay.
face so we
I'll
can
check.
recognize you in public and be like, that's good.
When your baby, grows up and starts
Yes.
That's right.
So I can try to shrink those photos.
I did.
I think it's like
Really small? Oh my gosh. So I
So-
wanted them to still have nice photos to
right.
Email them to you?
No, so I'll go ahead and you guys keep working with Savannah, and then so Michelle, you want yours, and then who else wants their headshot? Regina, do you want yours? Okay, so I'll shrink your two, and then everybody else, do you have a headshot? Are you good?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And I'll work on that, and I'll let you know when I get back.
Okay, good, okay.
I want you guys to still have like quality headshots. to use.
Yeah.
That's right, we
So I
do
don't wanna
like
make it too
pictures.
small. But, okay, so on the left, we have your groups over here. So we see this orange column. So you should be in the food access working group. I think we added those of you who had accounts already. So you guys should be in here. But if you want to add other groups, or maybe you want to look at what economic development is doing, you can join other groups. I think that this making a new group, yeah, we don't want to do that. So you should,
Sorry.
for like suggested groups, that should give you the rest of them, so you can say view all. I think I'm in every group except for this one. So it doesn't let me like see that. But if you want to join other groups, you're welcome to join other groups. This is all like, you can be part of anything. Doesn't like tie you to being anything. You guys being at this working group is what you're tied to. So you have to be in this group, and this is where we want you to do stuff. Okay, so you know how to join the group. Now for notifications, because you may or may not check this platform every day like I do. There is settings up here. Not notification settings.
The little bell.
Go to your profile settings. So hover over your picture on the right, and then there's the button that says profile settings. And that's where you want to see when you're getting emails that tell you that someone posted, because maybe you check your email more regularly than you check the platform. So you can change it to send me like an email as soon as someone posts, or you can send it for once a day. So if people are doing a lot of posts, it'll send you an email once a day. And so like this one, community highlight email every day. So highlights just means it won't show you everything, but it'll kind of make its own. And then once a week, it sends everything on Thursday. So you can turn these off if you don't like emails. But I think that's a good way to know what's going on. So like if someone mentions you, you want to have that turned on so that you get an email if someone mentioned you in a comment, because we are holding you guys accountable to what's on this group. So you need to check it. Okay. So we'll say I posted in the group. I'm not going to personally email you all. I'm not going to text you all. Because email threads are going to get really messy with this many people. So if it's posted on here, we do expect you to know that it's there. And don't say like, I didn't know that this was what happening. It's like, well, it was posted on the platform. So turn on your notifications if you need them. I think it would be smart. So there's a lot of choices.
That was my question too. Should we check it on a daily basis or more weekly?
I would say maybe weekly, but maybe the week of your meeting, you check, or the week before, you check it every day.
Check it every day. We can change it. We can always.
Yes. And I think having the email notifications really can help you know, maybe, it's not going to be super active every single day in this like work group specifically. But I don't think you need to check it every day, but especially coming up to your meetings. Yes.
But there's also lots of good stuff that goes on.
Yes, on the rest of the platform.
This morning I had a meeting with somebody who was interested in policy, and they're on the platform. And I went to the policy and planning group, and I was like, "Have you looked at any of these things that I've posted?" And they're like, "No, this is all great." Like, yeah, right. Like the answers are already here. So I would encourage you. I mean, me and Savannah are on it every single day. And like I posted, like Avery just liked an article that I posted about some work that we were doing last year, and it just is to kind of instead of sending an email and saying, check out this article, you can just keep it here, and it allows people to kind of like maybe in the morning when you come into your office, just the first 5 minutes of your day, you're just clicking on your bookmark and seeing is anything being posted here. So it is good to get in the habit. And then as we start doing more work, all of that collaboration, we want to basically you should be minimizing how like the number of times you are starting a new email to somebody, because this should basically replace group emails. Because you can even communicate directly with people. So just you two can message each other. You don't have to, you can leave Avery and RJ and Eileen out of it, but you can do that. Or if you have something that you want everyone to know about, then you can post it and they will be able to see it too. And it's just because, like, I mean, how often do you guys, let me go dig in my email to find that? Like, it can be really complex. So this is just going to allow us to say everything's here. And we're going to start in the beginning of our meetings, clicking on here and saying, okay, since the last time we met, here's kind of our list of things that people are talking about. So this should basically replace your desire to send group emails.
Yeah.
If it's like private, just one-on-one, then you guys can still do that. But if it's more for the group, then it should be here. Yeah.
So this is our communication tool, so we want you to know how to use it and not be confused or lost, or I don't know what to do, and you can call me, but I'm only gonna help you so many times you have credits, okay?
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I believe in you though, I think that you can do it,
Yes.
so, I'm just kidding, I'll help you whenever you need. So yes, I think the notifications are pretty helpful, if you're not on it every single day, but you should, if you wanna check it every day, it's here. Okay, so customize your notifications. Now, something fun that this tool does is it'll sort things by latest activity, not necessarily by date. So if somebody comments on something from 3 weeks ago, it'll pop back up to the top. So you can change the filter and all of the feeds to go new posts, which will show you the most recent thing instead of like the thing that somebody commented on. So the most recent thing was posted on April 1st by Monica, which is this webinar. So then now it's all in chronological order.
That's
But-
specifically in food access, right?
That's for all of the groups. Yeah.
Okay.
So I can show you on the homepage too.
Well, so what's in food access, that webinar or the?
That, yes.
Oh,
maybe
sorry.
The most updated posts will show up only on food access, or it will show up just on
On
the
your
homepage?
main, page.
So the groups are, so that webinar was only in the food access group. It will only show up to those who have
The members of that
joined.
group.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
And that's to make it so that like, if I'm a small farmer and I care about food access, but my real focus is growing the most amount of food, I might not join the food access group just because I don't need that clutter in my inbox. I don't need that kind of stuff. Like I love that you're doing it, but for me, my focus is growing carrots. So it allows people to come in and really specify what they want to like subscribe to. So yeah, so that like webinar was specific for food access, which is why it's in the food access group. The main page is like, hey, this kind of benefits everybody. Or like, hey, like I think that like the whole network might want to know about this. Which is why you should take some time to join those groups to see like, okay, you might love farm to school, but you're busy, you got a lot to do. Maybe you just don't join the farm to school group, or you just go and check on it once in a while, so yeah.
So the things, sorry, I had a question. So the things that we should be posting on the general page would be like our monthly meetings, or not necessarily?
So we're actually I posted them as in like the main page just for the sake of the first meetings. But we want it in your group specifically. So that people get used to going into the groups to learn, like you want to learn about food access, you go into this working group. So that leads me to show you how to make a discussion post. So if we're on the main page here, so see if it clicks it over here, main page. These are your options. You can do a discussion, you can do a poll, you can do an event. So let me click on them so you can kind of see the difference. So you can do a poll. So this would be useful in your group if you need to take a poll on something, or like we need to move like December's meeting, what day works for everyone. And then you can do an event, which is a whole other page. You can do that. And then there's also, now I have to go back because it switches the page. You can do an opportunity, which is like a job, like it gives you kind of options here: mentorship, program, fellowship, volunteer, internship, and then recommendation. So maybe you took a really great class and it's offered monthly, and you can say, I really love this and I would recommend it to any professionals in this field. Something like that, or yeah, like an online course. Really anything you would recommend to your audience. And when you make a post, I'm actually going to go to your group. There's different ways to do it. So you would do your title here. So this is our like title post. And then, oops, if I can spell. And then what do I want to say? So you do your title, which is what's going to show up big. And then you can do a description. So success post. And then if you want to put a link in it, you have to hyperlink it. It won't automatically make it clickable. So I want to say like, visit this website. You have to select what you want to be a hyperlink and go down and click this button here and insert your link. And then when the link is active, so I'll say platform, Homegrown.com, text and insert, it will underline and be blue. So that's how you know it worked. This is very important because then people go on your page and they're like, oh, I can't click it. And then they just disappear because they don't end up going to it because they couldn't click on it. So when you make a post and you need to hyperlink, that's how you do it. And then we do want to keep our posts specific to which group they're relevant to. So we did talk a little bit about that. But if you're not sure where to post it, maybe ask each other or ask your co-chair. And if you really can't come to a conclusion, then you can ask me if you're really not sure. We're not going to yell at you if you post the wrong thing in the wrong group. But maybe we'll suggest this should go in this group. You should share it with this group.
And we actually have the ability to post. So if you post something on the main page and we think it's a better fit for a different group, if you were like, where did it go? It's maybe because you moved it, but that's a last resort. You guys should just, and so before you post, go, is this the best fit for which group, basically?
Exactly. So think about it. Any questions on making a post or recommendation?
Just in general, the post would be one for the meetings, and then if there's any events that we're planning to go to.
So
or
events, this like a meeting would be an event. So you would need to make it as an event. And
Okay.
so for like you just said, this working group, you want to make it in this working group.
Mhm.
So it has to be its own event. And you want to make sure that no one else has already posted it. So your secretary should post your events, which would be your meetings. Other events, if you hear of something and nobody else has posted it, you can share it in whichever relevant group, but not if you're going to it. It's not really, but if you think it's really interesting and nobody shared it and it would be relevant to people, then yes. But we want people to get in the habit of being part of the network and doing it. Now, if it's an online thing that's national, we don't expect them to post it. So maybe that would be a good opportunity for you to post in the group. But like if Meacham is hosting a farm thing, they should post it in here or have like a representative post it. Because we don't have to post everyone's stuff. Yes, Regina.
Now, I know of a event that just took place Saturday, the coalition and their conference.
Right.
Now, I would want to post that for everyone. So exactly where would I go for everyone to see that? Like if I have this information and I want to post this flyer about this conference, I would go to main
page. And if it's an event, it needs to be an event. So we actually did have that posted on here, and see it shows you on events upcoming, and then you can say past events. So the most recent past event was this.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was posted. We do have people out here posting it.
And so this, I think, is posted by Meryl.
Okay.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah, right,
Meryl's
exactly.
there.
Right.
And so you can see going, we had 13 members who said that they were gonna
Okay.
go. Maybe they went, maybe they didn't,
Right,
but
but
this
they
allowed
accepted.
them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so what this does, when you make an event,
Mhm.
it sends it as a calendar invite to your calendar. And you can respond right there to say yes, no, maybe, and then it'll communicate it back to this. And so that way it's on your calendar and it's already there. So it just makes it a little easier for you to have those details instead of you having to go manually add it. And so it's a way to basically say like, we have this conference, everybody should come. I mean, we have 250 people in this, so depending on their settings, it sends it out to all 250, and you have 13 people said yes. I don't know if all 13 of them went, but I bet you a bunch of them did. I heard that it was a good event.
Yeah, I heard it was.
Yeah. So this is where you want to post that. And then maybe you post the event and then a week before you comment on it again so that it'll come back up to the top of the post and say like, can't wait or something. But we'll talk more about that stuff down here. So the next thing is, have you commented on a post? So can you all go into the food access group and make a comment on something and show me that you know how to comment? So I think if you're not sure, if you look down at the bottom, there's these little icons, the clapping, which is kind of like a like, and then there's comments. So if there's no comment, Usually there's somewhere that says like you can.
At the very bottom.
Very,
So you're.
what would you like to say? Yes. So it's kind of weird. It doesn't say like comment. That one's probably using an event. It's probably not. Oh, I guess that's mostly what it is. Right? Yeah.
There's an article.
Here's an article, so I can click down here and say like, great article, Monica. And then you hit post. So you got it. Yep. Type a comment. So scroll down. This is the post. Yeah. So you want to see what else you want me to comment on another post that already exists. So any of these.
Okay, I want to come here.
Yep. So what you
So
have
I
to
go
do,
down
you
to,
can hit view discussion or hit that little comment bubble. So not the hands, the little bubble to the right.
oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. You can do it from here too.
Okay, let me get on.
Oh, you guys work with
Okay, this is your bubble.
Yep, so that one. And then scroll down to the bottom.
I don't know, they so delicate.
You have to drag or hit the button. Maybe because it's like a pop-up screen. So you gotta scroll down to the bottom. So you can either hit this little arrow or you can drag that bar.
Okay. So even if the event has passed, you can still comment on it?
You just have to hit that little and then see at the bottom says, what would you like to say?
Mm.
And then you type in there. Yeah,
Would
the
you
first
like to
comment.
say?
Yep, so here where it says,
Okay,
what would you like to say?
reply. Okay.
So you want to click on this. What would you like to say? So click that and then you can type your comment and then hit save. So it's not typed in for you, you have to click on the bottom.
Oh.
Yep, right there. And then I'm gonna say that's great. Or whatever you want to say to it and then make sure you hit save so it posts.
Yes.
Amazing.
Thanks, Monica.
Wow.
Give it a ring.
Getting active, thank you, this is a test. So now see, it shows me there's new activity. So it's gonna move these, oops. This mouse. So now it'll reorder them because it's in latest activity, so the most recent comment was on this one. And Michelle said, thanks for sharing. And now this one too, this is a test. So it reorders it that way. Okay, so we're commenting. Now, another fun thing you can do is tag people. So when you're commenting or when you're making a post, you can tag someone. So if I want to tag like Monica in this, I say add Monica, type her name, and then when I click it, it'll tag her. So it'll send her a notification. So maybe if you're asking something to your group, you can tag the whole group so that it makes sure to send a notification. That's one way to do that. Or you can say like, I went to this event with Monica Petrola and tag her in it so that they'll have to get notifications for the post as well. That's just a good way to keep engaging people. So you do by doing that sign and then typing their name and it should pop up. You have to click on it and that will tag them. So other people can click on their names too. Okay, now the membership directory. So the amazing thing about our online platform is that it shows you who everyone is. So if you look if we're still in this food access working group, here the top says members. You can see everyone who's in this group. So you can scroll through and you can say, oh, look, like Heather Crowley works at the urban horticulture assistant at Extension. I need to talk to her. So you can see this, you can see what group she's in, you can see her email address, where she works, sectors of the food system. And if you want to send her a message, you just hit message up here and they'll send her a private message. You can also use email. Some people, I don't know if it shows you their phone numbers.
You have to add it. No,
Okay.
we don't require it.
Yeah.
But I will say that like it is nice to be able to have someone's number if you need to call them to participate in something or whatever. So we are gonna start asking people to fill out their numbers. But it has their email or you can direct message them. Like I said, for kind of my personal organizational strategy is I would try to keep everything in the platform just so that way you get in the habit of going and checking and knowing that like, all right, so you have your normal life in Homegrown Hillsborough, as much as I'd like it to be the full thing you do all the time, it's just a fraction of it, right? But when it's time for you to do your Homegrown Hillsborough work, you can just log onto the platform and everything's there. So you can message Savannah and she'll talk back to you in the platform. You can reach out to people to see if they want to come to your event or apply for your grant, or if they can help you set up a meeting with somebody that they know. And all of that can like live there and be there. So that way you don't have to kind of like, go in between your quote unquote normal life and your Homegrown Hillsborough life.
All here.
Yeah, it's all there.
So we have to put it there. We have to know how to get to it. So you can see when we go to our main page, we can see all of the members, which is about 253, and see when there's no faces, we're like, who are these people? I don't know what it is. So that's why you should have your picture on there. Okay. That's the membership directory. Do you know how to send a direct message? Does anyone know? What I just saw.
You click on.
And click on the people. Yeah. The name is. There's a couple ways you
And
can
then
do it.
message.
Yeah. You click on the name and then you hit message. Boom, you got it. I think you can also do it like faster by just clicking this button real fast. So there's multiple ways.
Is there an option for a group? Like if we wanted to do our group chat or group text?
I think you can.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I can click multiple.
Okay,
so
good.
yeah, you could do that.
That way it'll make it easier for everyone.
Yeah. I started thinking. Actually, messenger. Okay, so direct message, great tool. Okay, do you know how to make a poll, an opportunity, or a recommendation? Do you
click
think
on
you know how
poll.
to? Yeah. Good. Okay. So just make sure that when you're making a post, you're making the right kind of post. Because if you do an event as a discussion post, people can't RSVP to it. It doesn't go on their calendars. It's just really important to make sure you know that you're doing the right type of post. Okay. You know how to find events. We kind of talked about events a little bit. I'm on the homepage. What do?
Find events.
Yep, how to find an event.
Click on events on the top.
Good job.
Yeah.
They will show up in the feed too, but if you are just looking for events, this is the best way I think to do it. And then you can scroll down. It doesn't show you all the information, so you need to click read more, and then it'll pop open. Although mine hasn't been doing it. I need to update my Chrome. So if you hit, view event, it'll open it big too. So I attached the agenda, the PDF, the instructions, where to go, and then this is the Zoom thing, which did work because Mel logged on. So great news.
And so like if you needed, your car dies and you need a ride to this event, you can post in here, scroll down a little bit. You can post down in discussion and say, can you come pick me up tomorrow? Right? Like anything that relates to this, or like, hey, I want to have a guest speaker at this upcoming meeting, or anything that's related to this, and that way it'll all just stay there. So it's a nice way to kind of organize everything based on the specific topic. And then go ahead and show them the calendar view too.
When you're in the event thing, not on a specific event, on all the events, you can click over here. So this is the list version, and this is the big calendar version. So it can show you like this, which is a little easier sometimes for people to tell what day of the week it is. You can see like these two things are happening probably close to the same time. So when you click it, it'll open it up. But that's a good.
And so if Savannah were to RSVP to that event, it would automatically put it on her calendar.
Yeah.
And so there's ways where, so basically, so it makes it so that like, oh, I have some free time this weekend. Is there anything going on in the Homegrown Hillsborough world? You can go to the calendar and go like, yeah, I'll show up to the, actually go to my food waste prevention week one. So this week, Homegrown Hillsborough is hosting a farm to no food waste event at Meacham. It's free. We're gonna have tables talking about food waste, blah, blah, blah. Here's all the information. If you wanted to go and you just press going, then it'll add it to your calendar. So on Saturday morning when you wake up, it'll just be there and you can just head on over. And it's, it's free, so you don't have to register or anything. But this will be a way to see basically, did people show up to your event and things like that, so.
Right, and to RCP, you just click the button, going, maybe, not going, so I'm a maybe in Saturday, so I'm gonna say maybe, I might be going to the event. So you can click going, not going, you can change your response, yeah.
I've been getting emails about events and sometimes it says your event is gonna start in an hour, but I don't RSVP for it. I don't, like, I
From the
don't,
platform.
it's in my email, it's from the platform, but it translates. So I hate to, be sending the wrong message. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
We
I
talked
wonder-
about that offline.
There's a
Yeah.
setting under notifications.
Is
So I
it
think
going
anything that
auto
you're invited to, which I think we're invited to everything, it'll send you a notification when our report starts. You can turn that off.
Okay, so it's just a notification. I'm not like.
You didn't
saying
RSVP, yes.
I'm going,
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's just anything that you're invited to.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you go for this event, like you were RSVP'd for this, like, work group event, it's just me monitoring that. So I'm just looking at it. So that is how you RSVP to an event. And you post an event, the way that I think we kind of talked about that a little bit. For the sake of time, you can always just go to events to start a new event. You can say create event here. And then it'll give you this. It's better to have a photo so that people know what's going on. It is kind of a weird shape. So try to find the longest picture you have. But it is really important to make sure you have your location because this information does go to people's like calendars. So make sure to fill in as much as you can, make sure it's correct. And then when you go to do this, when you create the event, you can actually make it email okay, now it's not going to show. But it can't, there's an option to like send everyone an email.
And that's the chat boxes,
Oh, this-
invite all group.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. So it'll invite everyone in this group by email and not just post it on here. So I can uncheck this if I don't want to email everyone, like if it's a webinar that it's kind of like, if you have time, whatever. But if it's like working group event, maybe I do want to check that so that everyone knows. It's all about who you want to send the emails to.
And for that is totally like a treat others how you'd like to be treated kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? Like you kind of know, you can make a distinction between like, all right, what is worthy of somebody getting a notification about and what's something that if they come and check out the platform, they'll, kind of seek it out. So like Savannah said, a webinar, there was a webinar about whatever, free school lunches or whatever. I probably won't send that out via email. But I do want to share it because if Avery logs onto the platform, she might be interested in that. But I don't necessarily need to clutter your inbox with it. However, the working group meetings, I do want people to know about those. And if we do like an event as a working group, we do want people to know about that. And then there they can decline, accept, maybe. So just kind of like before I think the default should kind of be to have that box unchecked. Unless it's a really important really important event that advances all of our common work. So working group meetings, things like that, launches, kickoffs, things like that.
Is there a way to default it so it's not checked?
No, there is a way that we can approve. And so like if it becomes a kind of an issue, then we'll just turn that on our side where we'll have to approve these things. But for now, we're kind of hoping that that people can, yeah. Because the platform wants you to use it as much as possible, so they default to having it, yeah.
So then when you make an event, you can also notify people about it. So because I made this food access group, I can click on this manage button and either edit the details. I can send a reminder, which will send an email out to, I think, everyone, and then manage the RCP list. So maybe I want to go on and say, actually, Monica's not going to this meeting. So I can tell her you're out. You really want to use this feature, but you can. Or maybe, so then you can also email blast. So that'll email all of them. And you can add people, although you want to make sure they know that they're expected to be.
So it's actually, I think a useful feature of this is, see where it says going? So click on that. I'm sorry, up in the top, where's it going 3? Yeah. So you can see other options. Viewed, didn't respond, might go. So if you wanted to remind people that haven't responded yet, like, hey, let me know your RSVP. We need to know how many platters to order. Then you can click on that and then send them an email and just be like, hey, wondering if you're going to be there or not. So it really allows you, like I said, to kind of keep everything here, but also to be able to communicate with people in the easiest way.
Do you guys access this through your phone at all?
Yes, there is an app, and that's kind of the last thing. Well, and what we can do is, like, we want you guys to basically between this meeting and the next click around and get comfortable, and like, don't worry about doing something wrong. Like at this point, just start.
Don't force anything practice, okay? That's all.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
do.
exactly.
And you're good.
And then as we get in the habit of it, as we get more comfortable, we can start kind of saying, hey, well, this is actually a better fit for this, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that should have been an event versus a discussion post, whatever. But if we can do like another deeper dive, or we can set up another meeting. And also we do have a video that Savannah will show you where that is, so you can watch it on your own time.
Confused and don't know what to do. You're like, what am I doing here? And you don't want to text me right off the bat. So that's, you can manage your event. So you can, if something changes or they change the hours, you can do that and then decide if you want to email it to everyone or tag people, all that. So that is notifications, adding files to the resource folder. So up here we have our feed, our members, our events, and our resources. This has a lot of interesting information. So there are featured resources, which I think we edit. Some quick links. So this is actually to that online platform training. It's gonna be really loud. And like at the bottom here on YouTube, it shows you like where things are. So this little thing will say like at 18 minutes, I'm assuming not seconds, joining the main pages and groups, or if you want to remember how to create an event. Actually go. Let's watch the ad first. Okay. So now here, it'll tell you when you pick that part of the video. So you can see this presentation that Monica kindly took the time to make and record for everyone, so that you can go back and remember how to do it. And you don't have to watch, the whole hour and 13 minutes. You can look at these bookmarks down here and see where they are. It even has key moment here for you.
So organized the way you did it.
Yeah, well, because we want you to be able to answer your own questions. And so, and I've been on the side where it's like someone sends me a video and it's an hour long. I'm like, I'm not gonna click.
Right, like how do I know where's what?
So if you're like, I want to make the event, but I forgot how, you can easily just go boop, boop.
Under
Oh,
resources.
here it is. Yeah, exactly.
So this is under resources. So these are all links. So how to join groups, change emails, platform registration for new members. If you want someone to join the platform, you can send them this link. So if you meet someone and they're like, you should join the Hillsborough platform. I don't really know how to tell you to get there. We do that platform.homegrown.com will work. You can remember that one. Or you can come here, get this link, email them, text them, whatever. And then there's also a thing to schedule time with them. Though that might not be available anymore.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I'll link up there.
Yeah, so I'll put my link up there, but if you want to set some time up with me, and that way, so you can automatically see my calendar, I'll just get a little email notification. There's also folders. So this is all different things on here. So we have from our summits last year, this is all all of our recaps from the summits. And I think it's different in your working group. So here, you guys can put resources that you want to share with people. So you can add your own links, you can add your own documents. The notes from these meetings would be valuable to go here. Still not sure how we're gonna, I don't want the secretary to have to type them while we're talking. But notes, any of you guys create any documents, that stuff should all be in here. Maybe one of your deliverables is a one-pager about food access. That should be in here. Really anything, we kind of don't want everything to for the drive, want it to be here for everyone. So something that's not just you don't need your headsheets here. So you guys keep those in your folders, but here's something that everyone can utilize. So basically, yeah, if you have an article that you like, maybe you shared it on here, or maybe you have it as a PDF and you don't know how to do that separately. And you can say, look at this great PDF, you can upload it in here and main folder. So that's up to you guys how you want to do that. And you can download things from here as well. So yeah, you can kind of determine how you want to do that. And there is also an app for your phone. It is called Mobilize.
Yeah,
It
this
is-
is
it's
kind of
just-
annoying. So we pay for this. This is like one of the things, like Homegrown Hillsborough pays for this software basically. And so that's why we're really pushing to use it, because if we don't use it, then we shouldn't pay for it. But I really do think that if we can use it, it will help elevate our work and make our work so much more effective. And one of the things that we've been hearing constantly is, if only there was a way that we could all communicate and we could all know about each other's events and there could be an online directory. Well, all of that is here, right? So when we started paying for this service, the company was called Mobilize. It has since been rebranded to a company called Forge. So we don't call it any of those things because it's just annoying. We call it a partner platform. We refer to this as the Homegrown Hillsborough Partner Platform. But to download the app, it's still under its former name of Mobilize.
It's like an ampersand. It's like the,
And you want to just Google Mobilize, and it's also a bit different thing too. So Mobilize, like community, and see what comes up. I think that's, and then maybe go to images, because no, yeah. Let me show you. I'll show you what it looks like in the App Store.
Does it look like that?
Yes, that's it exactly. Yep. Yeah, and I think you have it. Oh, sorry. No, you're good. So I'll just show you. So Michelle, show Regina real quick. So see that blue like ampersand? That's what you're looking for. Yeah, in the App Store.
and then it doesn't have all the same features as the thing. So like you have to post an event on the computer. You can spend your whole day on the app and not be able to find it because it does not exist. Just a heads up. That's like the number one question I've got. Is like, where do I do my phone? That is some feedback we can provide to the thing.
The
But
partner.
yes. So put it on your phone and sign in. So then, maybe you're scrolling through your social media, then you're like, I wonder what's up in the food system. And you just scroll that, for 5 minutes before, need a break, but don't want to look at memes or whatever. I don't know what everyone does on the internet. All right, so you have the app and then you sign in. Okay, so I think that's like most of it. This sheet has a like little reminder kind of stuff here at the bottom. Current events, you want to use an opportunity, program, an event, or something that's recurring, because it'll show up on the calendar. There's not a time to say like every other Tuesday is volunteering, so it'll literally block out the whole calendar. So don't say like this goes from January to December, because it'll put it on the whole calendar. So if it's something recurring, it would be more like an opportunity, or you can go through and post it. Like for these meetings, we want you to post one event per month. Yeah, and then for the answers, you want to use a poll, open questions, discussion, sharing articles, discussion, and make sure you hyperlink it. And then jobs or internships opportunities. So this is kind of like a little cheat sheet. You can go through and do this by yourself again later. Provide this whole sheet for you. All right. Good job. Any questions? We're almost done with our time here. Okay, I was like, I know it's a lot. Yeah.
Well, not regarding, I guess.
Okay.
Is our goal to also, as we meet people, just to invite them to join the group? Anyone that attends any of our events?
Yeah.
And the goal is to bring more members to the food access work.
If
Is that part of the goal?
the people like have relevant work and are interested in Hillsborough, like you don't just say like anyone join the platform. Like they actually do need to have like a little bit of business there. But like people who just want to kind of know what's going on, maybe more the newsletter. It's kind of up to you. Like if you think that they would be like the network is valuable to them or they're valuable to the network, then yes, invite them. We do have to like approve everyone in there. But like if you just want to like put like your partner on it, like I guess we're not that like pressured on it, but like it's more like what are they gonna add to the platform or what can they do?
What I have to say is like the platform is for the purpose, and for the people that want to spend their time advancing these common goals, versus our newsletter is more for people that are like, I'm so happy you're doing that work, but like I'm not gonna come to a volunteer day, right?
I
I'm
want to
not
read it
gonna
and
watch
say
a
great, yeah.
Yeah, but like I'm so happy that you're doing that work, and maybe I'll come to your event to show support. Maybe I'll, throw a few bucks your way in a donation, but like, I don't want to do the work for it, right? So this is for people that are actually like no, I'm ready to do the work, like either it's part of my job or it's part of my values and ethos or whatever. And that's why we post the webinars, because if you're interested in food access, then you probably want to tune into a webinar that talks about how free reduced lunch actually is a great tool for food access, right? If I'm just your neighbor and I'm like, Michelle, that is such great work that you're doing. I don't, right? Like, you know, so yeah, so you have to kind of make a distinction. And they'll kind of like, because it is relatively active, like people that don't want to be in the platform will just remove themselves. Yeah. Or unsubscribe. Yeah.
I have two people from the University of South Florida who I would love to invite because they do work in sovereignty.
Will Schaubacher's on here. You know,
Okay,
like, he's not, yeah.
I want him in my group.
And so I think Sonya's on here too. Yeah, and so how you would see that is you just go to members and then you can search them. And then they'll
invite them to my group.
exactly. And so yep. And so
Because they would have information we would want.
exactly. Yep, exactly.
Okay.
And so you got it perfect. And because they're already in here, you can tell them, hey, join the food access group. I'm the co-chair and I want you to join it. Or like you said, you can just put them in there. Yeah.
And then tell them, I shared something, did you see it? And make them go look on the.
Okay,
So that's,
I just.
Yes,
for sure.
but that's perfect. That's exactly the type of people like.
Yeah, we need.
Yeah, exactly. If you've been working with them, you know they want to put the work in.
Right,
Make sure they're here. Yeah.
All right. Good job. Google Drive. Has everyone accessed it? Have you opened it and can see stuff? Okay. We have been having like some little issues with like access. So like sometimes, so here's your group here. Sorry, it's really tiny. Like, so these are links. So I think I'm gonna make a form for you guys, but you should be able to click on everything. But if you don't have access to something, either like request, but make sure that you're using, so, oh my gosh, this is so impossibly small.
Here, do like tab or here.
That'll be weird, but I wanted to show them the like.
Oh, up here. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Okay. So if you use Google Chrome to access your internet, is that everyone can be used?
Yeah.
Okay. They have this little profile. So you can, when you click on your little face, you can change your profile. So I don't know how many people have multiple email accounts and everything. To make sure you're on the right one that leads you into here, like you can go over here and see I have like I'm a girl and my sister, don't worry about that. And then like, well, okay. So you want to make sure you're in the right profile. So if you're opening this and then you're like, why won't it work? Make sure that you're on the email that we shared it to. So we shared it to one email. And if you can't access, try that first and just make sure you're on like the right profile and then go from there if you don't access it. So that should help keep everything kind of separate. So like I have my work email and then I have like my personal Chrome like profile. So it keeps my bookmarks separate and everything like that. That should make your life easier. So like when we go in here and hit meeting agendas, I have a PDF of today's agenda. And then I also have, this is the notes, which I've been taking a little bit. And then a general agenda template. So this one is a shortcut. So I really have to share this one, but this is what you'll use to when you make the agendas, which you don't have to make up the content, but that's where the template is. So when you use a template like this, you should, oh my gosh, this really kills me. What you want to do is make a copy. So you go in here. So this is like and it tells you that here. You want to say, go to file and make a copy so that you preserve the template. So I think this one is actually locked so that you can't just start editing it and lose it. But you want to go in here and say make a copy and then make sure it's in the same folder or whatever. Actually, yeah, this is it's going to come into a different folder for you. So I make a copy and then you can edit it and then you'll rename it, May, date, whatever. And now we can edit it. So you want to have your working group name, time, location. And so, yeah, kind of gives you, it's pretty explanatory, but we did kind of put in what we want for every meeting. Let me do more of this. Okay, so we'll always start with a welcome. We'll do a little kind of attendance, make sure everyone's here. Deliverables / old business. So whatever we talked about the last meeting, what we're supposed to do in between, what we're supposed to come up with. We'll do a report back on previously assigned work, discuss new developments, maybe say, okay, what did everyone see on the platform? Or did you hear about something? Or did you attend an event? Tell us about it. And then we'll actually review the platform post as a separate thing. And then we'll talk about new business for the current meeting, deliverables for the next meeting. And at the end, we're doing evaluations of every meeting, which we will do in a little bit here before we wrap up. But we're going to evaluate each meeting to make sure that we're being effective. And it'll be a quick thing. I'll explain that at the end. So this is your how to make a copy of something. When there's a template, always make a copy, but then make sure that you're putting it back in the right folder. So this little folder with an arrow, you can move it to, so like I want to put this in food access meeting agendas, and then you hit move, and it'll put that in the folder. I'm not going to do that because you don't need a copy of this one. Okay, so that was general. Do you have questions about Google Drive?
One question, for our work group meetings summaries, or does that go in the drive or that goes under resources?
So we want to, I would say both places for now, just so that we have it here too. But I would make sure it's a PDF when you put it on. So on here, we can edit it in real time and like people can work together on it. But once you're done with it, you want to turn it into a PDF so it can't be edited and then post it on the platform.
So unfortunately, the platform, you can't create.
Right.
So when anything you type up, anything new, you're gonna create in Google Drive, but that is only for you guys as leaders. In order to get the public, our network, to see it, you're gonna save it as a PDF and then post it in the resources. Yeah. So that way, so like, yeah, if you do recap or, whatever it is, you make a 1-pager on what your mission, vision, whatever, then you'll create it here. You guys can work on it collaboratively, and then eventually you'll save it as a PDF and upload it to the resources and platform. So it's taking it from just our leadership group to network wide. Yeah.
So it's really
Is there a time frame for that, or is do you guys have a standard?
Not really. Just kind of like generally the further you get away from something, the more stale it gets. So, but it's not like but like since these are recurring events, then maybe just going ahead and scheduling some time for your morning, the next morning, or a few mornings later before the end of the week, just to go and do Homegrown Hillsborough homework. Yeah.
So then, sorry, I had one more question. So for our group, I know you had mentioned in our one-on-one that it should be at least 8 to 10 hours a month is a recommendation requirement for the group. Is that what you're saying?
shares?
Okay.
Just to go shares outside of the regular meeting. That's how that balances out.
But like doing the recaps, adding people to the working groups, tuning into webinars, like all of that stuff counts. The goal is to bring it back to the group. So if you tune into a webinar and that's like one of your hours outside of the group, then in the meeting, we do have the old business. You should say, hey, like between this meeting and last meeting, I tuned into a webinar and it was really useful because I learned all these things, or that it wasn't actually that useful because that's not relevant to our work that we just defined, Yeah.
Okay, so our next item was to take some time to talk about your work group's priority areas, but we're a little low on time, so maybe at the end, you want to do that?
Yeah, we can roll up next meeting.
Yeah, we can always do that. Yeah, next
or that can be homework, that can be deliverables, right? Yeah.
Okay. Just maybe like everyone, come with 2 priority areas, well, maybe more, and then you guys come together and decide.
Okay.
So what we do actually want to talk about is some the mini grants that we're gonna have, but the most important one I think right now, time wise, is this community building grant. And so each working group is gonna get $4,000 that needs to be doled out before the end of September. So this money won't be available until you've solidified your goals and objectives, which I believe we have for like the end of June, is it June? So like by the end of the June meeting, your goals and objectives should be solid. And then we can open an application, however you guys want to spend it. If you want us to break it up into smaller grants, it's just $4,000 and it has to be spent before October. So, and when I say spent, I mean it has to be awarded. You don't have to
You
like
said expire September.
the end of September.
Okay. And it
So-
has to be awarded when you gonna, you say awarded?
So it just has to be awarded by the end, right? Like,
Yeah, money, so it's part of our fiscal cycle for the county.
right.
So the fiscal budget starts on October 1st. So we have up until September 30th. We don't want to go right
That
at the
close.
deadline. But we will open applications after we solidify our goals and objectives, and people will start applying for that. And we just need to make sure that we give them money before the end of September. Yeah.
So they don't have, however, they can take longer to spend it.
If their event is in October, that's fine.
Yeah, that works.
If their event is in November or December, that's fine. But for our purposes, if they want to have a community event where they hire a speaker to come and talk about what food access means or their strategies for food access, we need to pay that speaker before the end of September. Yeah. And ideally, it'll all be happening fast but like we know that like things in the fall are a lot more active than over the summer, but it's just the way that the money lined up this year that we just kind of have like a little bit of a rush to spend it. Because we do want to get these dollars out into the community. We don't want to leave them on the table. But you guys know July, not a lot's going on. August is still too hot. And food access is a little different than food production, but yeah, but all of that, when we flush out the application for the mini grant, we'll specify that type of stuff. Yeah.
So it's more what your job is more so to decide what you want that money to go to, or like what types of projects, because you'll be awarding it to our community. So whoever's going to apply. So you want to say, maybe we want to work on the healthy neighborhood store. Like, is someone going to do a project for that? Or like a grant for Healthy 22nd Street to host like a community event to build to people,
Like
to
a
tell more
pop-up.
people about it. Yeah. So
We're not planning these events. We're
No.
looking for events that are happening. We're partnering with organizations who are essentially doing it. And then we're saying, hey, we can help fund this for you.
So you guys are giving direction. So you're gonna create your goals and objectives for the food access group. And then we're gonna open mini grants. If you as individual organizations want to apply, you will be able to do that, and we'll create a process that makes it so that it's like fair, even though you're on the working groups.
It's not a conflict of interest.
No. And so we're working on a process to define that. Basically, like, we want to reward people for showing up and having an active role, and you guys have an active role. And so that means a lot. And yeah, so we're gonna work with USF, blah, blah, blah. That's all background stuff. But no, you won't be hosting the event. But somebody like maybe Regina does want to do a Healthy 22nd Street community potluck where it's about showing off different recipes from your family and talking about like, access through this vantage point. And Healthy 22nd needs some money to rent some tables. They need, maybe they want to do it either in the garden or at an actual venue, that costs a few $100. They need to pay for sweet tea and lemonade to be there. So they need $700 to do this event. So they'll apply for it. We'll deliberate and say, does this fit our goals and objectives that we talked about? Does this advance food access? How does this strengthen our network? Blah, blah, blah. And then you as the decision makers will say that. And then you as an individual can decide if you want to go to her event or not. But that's how ultimately it's all going to flow through, is that is that you'll be the decision makers for that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And so you don't have to award $4,000 to one group. If you get one amazing application, but you can even also kind of determine, like, we're doing this many, like, don't make like $500 kind of a lot, but maybe, $4,000 grants. Or if you want to say, apply for a grant between $800 and $1,200, and then your treasurer has to keep track of how much money you're getting out. So that's kind of where that role comes in there. So that is the thing, yeah, Regina.
I have a question. What if this money is not being, we have selected a person or a party by the end of, right, exactly, what happens to that money? I mean, if we don't select it.
Use it or lose it, yeah.
Yeah,
Use
it's
it or
it is use or lose.
Yeah.
So, but what I know about our network partners,
We're doing it. They want money.
they'll get applications, we'll get
Yeah.
applications.
They want money, yeah. We'll
Yeah.
make it.
Cause even like I said, what I just rattled off, like that would be fun. That doesn't take that much to, to work towards. And I think that if we have a lot of partners that are ready to get to work, but they just need a few $100s here or there to be able to secure that table rental or whatever. So I think that once we define our goals and objectives and we announce on the platform that mini grants are open, come and apply to them, I think you'll see people will apply. But if not, then we either lose it or we'll have to get creative on how we want to spend it.
Will you guys send us those submissions?
Oh, no, you'll be.
You'll have access to
You'll be
it.
totally
Yeah.
part of that. Yeah. No, we are just facilitators in that. We're gonna create like the template and even like review that with you all and stuff. But this is really what your leadership role is to decide these applications from the community, do they fit our goals and objectives that you guys kind of set?
And will these mini grants, will they have to dedicate it to a specific working group? Like, if somebody applies, are they applying to a food access type of grant or?
So yes and no, sorry.
Like each working group gets $4,000.
Okay.
So they should know, like when they're doing the application, which one it's relevant to.
Gotcha.
Maybe we'll do a little like someone
Crisscross, yeah.
is people get a little confused sometimes between production and access. So like if we need to maybe scooch things around, but for the most part, they should know like which one is. I think I was like because there'll be separate applications like because these are your goals, and then food production and economic development will have their own goals. So if they're applying for something that isn't really relevant to the goals, then they're not going to get the award rate. But maybe if like one has very like obviously another one, we can work on that.
And these submissions come in through the Homegrown website, through those
It'll
posts?
probably be a poll, but it'll be posted on the platform. That will be probably up to you all to post that. It kind of depends on how we end up doing it. But it'll be posted on the platform. It'll probably go on our newsletter. Pretty much every form of communication we have.
And we're gonna have a full meeting dedicated, once we finalize, we're still working on the back end for our part. Once we finalize the application and the process and all of that, that will be a whole meeting, and I bet you network partners will tune into that one.
Yes.
They wanna learn how to.
Yeah. So that's, I think, we're gonna pass over the rest of the grant ideas here, because those are for the next fiscal year. So one thing we do have coming up, no one has reached out to you, it's kind of your last chance if you're interested in doing this collective impact summit. It is like I think 3 days long. But if you want to do that, there is a cost associated, so let us know. And we can send you to that if you're available and are interested. Because collective impact is our model and what we're utilizing, so this could be beneficial. And it's fully virtual, so you don't have to go anywhere. But you do have to be at your computer from 9 to 5 for like 3 days. Or no, sorry, 12 to 5. It's a half day. They're half days. They're 12 to 5 online.
So those are not recorded.
I think they were recorded for like participants, so you have to pay to be part of it, and then, but, because I did this a few years ago, when I first started Homegrown Hillsborough, before I even had a network or anything, I tuned into it to make sure that I was like, is collective impact the model we want to adopt? And it's this national, it's big, and like, it was cool and virtual and lots of like resources and examples of how people have used it in their communities. And then I think you get access to the recordings, but only for like 2 weeks, because they want you to show up in person. So yeah, and our requirement would be that you are able to show up or like during the time. Yeah.
Where is that information if we wanted to look more into it?
It is on our agenda here, and then there's this link. I'm pretty sure it's collectiveimpactforum.org.
Okay.
So that is there, but I would say let me know by the end of next week.
It's coming up.
Yeah, because it's coming up, and I don't want like all of a sudden the day before 4 people are like, we all want to go, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, too many people. There's also the Florida Organic Growers is having a symposium in Orlando in August. So just to kind of, if you want to throw the date in your calendar, I might head over there. It's August 26th. I don't even think we have times yet, but it's in Orlando. And that's just an interesting group group to be part of.
Question,
So,
Savannah, are you all connected with other, organizations like Florida Dairy and like all those other councils?
a little bit,
A little
yeah,
Yeah.
like, it's how much they engage with us, like, we
Okay.
attempted to engage with most of them, I would
Okay.
say, that are relevant here for the most
Okay.
part. But if you have connection and want to bring them in closer, feel free, or want to make a stronger connection,
Okay.
you're totally welcome to do that. And we would encourage you to do that if I think it's valuable. Okay, so deliverables for next meeting. We definitely need to look at our goals, right? Goals. Basic goals.
We can't see it.
I know, yeah, let's share this other side. All right, I'll move over here. Okay. Okay. So our priority areas, I think, is more what we want to. Next meeting, we want to determine our priority areas. And I would say that folks should come. Okay, I shouldn't have touched this. Come with some thoughts, because that'll be a pretty big discussion, I would say, next time, is your priority areas and what you want to focus on. And we may revisit that, this definition, group definition.
Did we type this definition into the notes?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's up there, yeah, so I typed it in here. So do the working group definition, our priority areas. What else? Like the mini grant, maybe thinking about. I mean,
Do we decide the start date and the end? Oh, not the end date, but the start date, when to submit, applications?
The first step is to solidify goals and objectives.
yeah,
So we're gonna start that process next
Yeah.
meeting. It might take 2 full meetings.
Okay.
And so we'll kind of come to that together. Yeah, but the goal would be that we're exiting the June meeting with
a plan.
set, yeah, yeah.
So that might take, yeah, so that might take the most of next meeting.
Mhm.
But you should also remember to, we said you, go through the platform, take some time, review the platform, and come with, like, tell us one thing that you saw of note that would be relevant to your group. Sure. So. To your work here. Okay. Anything else? Yes, that's good.
Should we have our date set for the year or quarterly? Like, how does that work?
So this meeting is supposed to be recurring, same time, same place.
Okay.
So
Oh, same place. Okay.
monthly, yes, because we don't want to confuse people.
Okay.
So I'm handling reservations if, like, we have an issue and there's a conflict, we'll figure it out. But as far as I know, you guys are meeting the second Tuesday of every month
Mhm.
from 12 to 2. If that becomes like an ongoing issue, we can change that. And remember, in your little contract, you have 2 virtual meetings, right? 2 virtual meetings if you need them, and then 1 straight up absence, and that's per, like, calendar year.
2 virtual meetings for the full.
That's everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone in the group gets 2 virtual meetings, so maybe you're out of town, but you can still tune in or something, or you're at a conference, I don't know. Whatever circumstances bring you to needing them, it's per calendar year, so this year you get a little extra because there's only, 7 meetings or whatever versus next year. Actually, no, I think it balances out, never mind, the fiscal year ends in October, so it works out. So just keep that in mind. Attendance is important, and this is a recurring meeting, so if a conflict comes up, we need to know about it. Yeah, okay. And then the last.
I'm sorry, if we know we're gonna be out of town or can't make it, like a planned absence, do we reach out to them or do we reach out to you?
I would say you should talk to your co-chairs.
Gotcha.
And they should tell me, because I'm gonna meet with them twice a month, so they should let me know also. But your co-chairs are your leaders. Okay, last thing, we're going to rate this meeting quickly. So, oh my gosh, okay, give me this.
It's really.
This calendar, this previous calendar. Okay, so we're rating it based on these things: participation, achievement, listening, and scheduling. Participation, did people participate? If there were
Yes.
people who were not, hold on. Everyone's gonna do it separately, but we're just gonna like do a little popcorn. But I wanna make sure you understand what we're rating. Achievement, did we accomplish what we set out to accomplish? Like, did we do something? Were people focused and mindful for listening? And then scheduling, did we stick to our agenda and use our time wisely? You're gonna rate these 1 through 5. So we will start with participation. Regina, how would you rate participation 1 through 5?
5.
5? All right, Michelle, how would you rate it?
5.
RJ,
Uh,
it's okay to be different if you want. Avery,
5.
all right, Eileen.
4. I'm just kidding.
All right. How nothing. We want to know your favorite answer.
Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
no one's losing their job, like, this is.
That's feedback, like you want to know.
Yeah, exactly, we can make a more effective meeting and make sure we're using your time wisely, that's really.
Exactly. Like
Okay.
it's 2 hours of your life.
Mhm.
So we want to know. Okay, achievement. Did we accomplish what you perceive to be a good amount, Regina?
Repeat that question.
Achievement. Like, did we achieve?
The goals.
Yeah, like the goals of today's meeting.
I'll say 4.
Michelle.
I'll also say 4.
All right, RJ.
4.
Okay, Avery.
Also 4.
Okay, and
I don't know what the goals were, but
let's
I
see the
think it was
agenda.
that checklist that you had,
I
right?
feel like the agenda. Like, did we get through the agenda?
We got through everything. Okay.
But also, that's kind of like, so what did we accomplish? Like, do we have stuff to do?
Mhm.
Did we create, like, do something? So like, we kind of did our sentence here.
Mhm.
We went through the platform. Okay. And then listening, were people focused and mindful? Regina.
5.
Michelle.
Same time.
RJ.
4.
Avery. 5. Eileen.
5.
All right. And scheduling. Did we stick to our agenda and use our time wisely? Regina.
4.
Michelle.
I'll say 5.
RJ. Avery. 4. And all right. Thank you guys. This is kind of a new system. We're going to see how this goes for our,
Monthly.
for monthly, just to make sure. But like I said, do honestly answer, and like that helps us. Otherwise, I think
Can I make a
that's-
comment? Where's comments?
Yeah.
Because I think,
comments. Like first.
Okay, because I think that the agenda was packed and there was a lot to cover that we could have spent more time covering, that we weren't able to cover because of so much content.
And so I will say that going forward, you two are gonna create the agendas. So knowing that we packed too much in, that will, you should keep that in mind when you go to create your agendas and say, let's do less, and I think that's a great observation to make.
We'll make an official comment section later.
Yeah, any other comments on any of those kind of like 4 things?
I agree, because I feel like I really would have wanted to spend more time on the
that,
definition of
yeah.
our mission, and which
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
most important, because that's what we're basing everything off of.
Mhm.
So I don't know if 10 minutes or the time given was
Wasn't off, yeah.
that's pretty important
Mhm.
Right.
to
There will be
establish.
more time for it.
Yeah. No.
Most important thing was getting to the platform so that you guys had somewhere to do your discussing.
Mhm.
And there will be lots of ongoing discussions. Like I said, the next 2 meetings are pretty much what your goals are. And so maybe even this, it has room to grow or changes a little bit. But that's good to know. I'll probably give the other 2 working groups a little bit of time. So sorry guys. I just was like, let's see how long it'll take. Yeah. So I was just, yeah, this is the first one here. So that's why I was like, okay, I'll say 10 and then 5 more, and I'll let you do 5 more.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe I should give the call like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then maybe an extra 5 minutes. But that's good to know. Okay, anything else?
I have one comment, just because Avery came in a little bit late. Is everyone comfortable with their roles?
That's a good question. Do you guys have like a job description for secretary? Cause I am new to all of this. I have no idea what that entails.
We delegated everything.
I'm hoping I'll be able to stay and be a part of this the whole year because they know, because I'm in transition looking for another job. So hopefully wherever I'm working next, I will still be able to be a part of it the whole year. So
But we are still.
it's too far. It's too far, but thank you.
Anything else before we, like, officially?
Well, so as far as the question of do we have the job roles, not really. So
Okay, there
the,
is kind of something typed up, but we're kind of gonna see how it goes.
Yeah. so the main takeaway for the secretary is to post events on the platform,
Yeah.
post the working groups on the platform, working group, and like, relevant information basically, yeah, to be that liaison between the working group and the platform.
So is it more to kind of figure out the roles as we're in it?
Yeah, I mean, because you're treasurer, right?
Supposedly.
Yeah. And so as the mini grants become a thing and
We'll see.
we track that, so yeah. And so like, for you, if we open up mini grants, we have $4,000 and we have, some people need 300, some people need 600, some people want 1,200, some people want 3,000. Like you're gonna have to kind of keep track of,
Yeah.
oh, we awarded this. It's Excel sheet, basically, yeah. And then, excuse me, on the other side of things, most of like the seat tracking will come down to Dahlia and stuff, but or Savannah or me. But we might need you to, walk through somebody through a process of like, how to fill out a form that we will have created and showed you how to do it. And yeah, it's one of those capacity building things. Yeah. But we recognize that for the three of you, especially that like this, you're not getting paid outside of this, and that 2 hours a month is a really strong commitment. And so we do want to make it as easy as possible, but we also do want to make it so that you guys can live without us, that you guys can be a functioning group that can make decisions and know how to access the information you need and know how to chart your own path. And that we are just sideline cheerleaders to make sure that it's as easy as possible for you to do so.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up here online. Thank you to anyone who's joining us or watching later.